AI revolution is here. Is your business ready for it? In this episode, in this YouTube video, I want to share with you guys that the AI revolution is here. It's no longer something that's coming in the future, but it is now and it is here. It has arrived. So is your business ready for it? Because AI is changing marketing. AI is changing how everything is done right now online, but you need to find out and ask yourself is your business actually ready for AI? Because AI is changing and it has changed the game, the marketing game, because it's changing how people search for your services and your products online. It's changing how customers discover you and find you online. It's changing how ads work. It's changing how business is being conducted, transacted, and even operating. So most businesses, aren't ready for this AI revolution. And I'm going to break down in this episode of how AI has changed the game because most businesses, unfortunately, are still using outdated website that they haven't updated in God knows how many years. They're using outdated marketing strategies and tactics. They're using outdated systems and strategies that aren't geared for the year 2026 in this digital age because the internet is evolving in real time before them. So if your business isn't adapting, isn't preparing itself for this revolution, for all these different changes, you're going to be left behind. And if you are in obscurity right now, you're going to be a thing of the past in the day of tomorrow because AI is not the future anymore. It is the current shift happening right now. And the businesses that are adapting to it, integrating it, applying it, and incorporating it into the business, we're going to be a step ahead. But like I always say, most business owners are trying to learn AI right now. They're trying to figure out how it works, how can it help them streamline their marketing or their operations or their workflows. How do they get their team members and their partners on it? Because there's always some that are more ahead of others when it comes to this new technology. Because whenever new technology is introduced, there's always friction, there's always resistance, there's always kind of like a pushback against it because it's changing everything, how everything is changing the status quo. Business has always done this way. This is how we've always done it. This is how we're always going to do it. And AI is just simply right now moving at a fast pace. And granted, it's not all perfect. And, it's still going to be evolving and still having to be optimized and updated. But if you're not tapping into it right now, you're going to be left behind and it's going to hurt more because, you're learning whatever you learn today things down the road is going to be completely different as there's always different updates happening to it because AI has changed how we search online. It has changed how search is conducted, where it's being conducted, how it's being conducted, what results are being generated. So AI search has changed forever. Online search has changed forever. This is typically when I talk to, clients and prospects and business owners is what we would refer to as local SEO, search engine optimization. It is no longer about just the search engines. I say it's about to make your business omnipresent online. It's about the search everywhere optimization because search doesn't just happen on Google anymore, although there is still a big chunk on there, and we also have to adapt to it as well. People are now searching, on ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Perplexity, voice search, using different platforms. They're using, social media. They're using this vehicle right here, YouTube, the video search. So search is becoming conversational. Instead of just typing a dentist in Miami, people are now asking, who's the best cosmetic dentist near me? Again, totally different conversation from just plain to actual more conversational style. And how AI is changing how search is being conducted in the year 2026 is AI is basically working as its own search engine because when it comes to search engine optimization, when it comes to online searches that it's pulling is basically whether it's a search engine or whether it's AI platform, is basically, you know, looking up all the results, is looking at those keywords across all the different websites and platforms and social channels on the internet and brings all that information, dissects it, and be able to bring it to the consumer, at the touch of a button. So these AI tools, what are they doing? They're scraping, they're crawling, they're summarizing, they're actually recommending different businesses. So this means that your online presence now determines whether AI can find you and can recommend you. So if AI itself can't find your business, is not, and it can't recommend your business. So the way people are searching nowadays has changed just because now we have so many different platforms and so many different ways for us to be able to search now, from asking Alexa to Siri, from any whatever name bot you want to give it. All of this is changing. So AI search, online search is changing. So if your website is outdated, your website hasn't been optimized for SEO, now imagine for AI search now as well. So because the thing with AI isn't just about finding you, it's about also recommending you, because people want to not just search for it and say, okay, they're gonna see 10 different results. Okay, which one would you choose in your honest opinion, AI? Which business would you recommend? And if you're positioned in the right way, you have the right authority, you have the right trust online, then AI can recommend you and say, these are the type, this is the business that you should go with based on, their reviews, their online presence, their website, the information that they're sharing, the content that they're producing. It's going to be able to recommend your business. So if your website is outdated, because I would say your website is your foundation to your online presence, because now more than ever, it's crucial. We used to be in a day and age that people would boast and brag, no, I have a website, I'm on Instagram, I got a Google business profile page. But now our website is more vital than ever before, because it's exactly what the AI search platforms are scraping, are crawling, are looking for, to see if they can find the information that the consumer is actually looking for. So your website is now your AI foundation. Because if your website is no longer just an online brochure or just to kind of, make yourself like a real business, it is now your digital foundation to your business. So you got to ask yourself, has it been updated within the last year or two? Is it optimized for mobile? Is it optimized for desktop, for tablet? Is it SEO optimized? Not just SEO for search engines, but is it optimized for AI search now? Again, because you have SEO, you got GEO, and you got AEO. Now it's about search everywhere. It's about generative engines. It's about, ask engines. So there's so many different sources now that we need to optimize our information, our content on, so they can find us, they can see us, and that we can be recommended on all various platforms. Because again, it's all about the online game, marketing game. It's all about how many different flows, how many different streams, how many different platforms can our business be on to be able to get and pull in, people that are actively searching for our services. Because people may boast and say, no, I'm just doing content, I just do reels, or I just word of mouth. But on now I think Chat GPT has hit 1 billion users worldwide on the platform. Imagine if you can just capture how many of that 1 billion active users are actually looking for your services, looking for your business, are actually looking for the things that you offer. So if you've never invested into having a website, into local SEO, then you better get yourself a website that's AI now optimized and properly invest into SEO, because this is what the platforms are using to be able to recommend your business so you can be found. So when people do search for you, the key terms, the key services that you offer, that you can be found. And not just having the content on there for the sake of having content, but are you answering questions? Are you answering, common questions that most people have pertaining to, your services, your treatments, your business per se. So, it just like imagine, I just actually not even imagine, just real life case study is that a dental office that I've been speaking with the last couple of weeks, they haven't updated their website since 2021. So it has outdated design, it has poor mobile experience, it has slow load times, it has weak SEO structure, it has no local optimization, the content is thin, the pages, it's basically a site that's working against itself because it's telling not just Google, but even AI is working against itself. It's just like basically don't recommend me. I don't have the main authority. I don't have the trust building that these platforms want them to have. So basically, that website is invisible in today's search environment. And if you can rank well on Google, just imagine how AI is going to come and just demolish your website. So we actually also did this with one of our clients, one of our MedSpa clients last year, is that we actually didn't just build them a website. We had to do a whole rebuild because they already had authority, they already had rankings, they already had infrastructure in place. Now, okay, how to instead of trying to Frankenstein it and try to piece it piece by piece and kind of, what most people like to do is just do, put lipstick over a pig, you kind of have to like tear down to rebuild. So we had to rebuild them a new website that improved the structure, that helped them be more optimized for mobile. We had to create new treatment pages. We had to make sure we keep in line the internal linkings of the page. We had to give it a better user experience. And again, we had to make sure that it keeps its rankings, not only just keeps where the words that they were ranking for in the terms, but how do we then also then add more fuel to the fire and help them improve those searches, those rankings, those results that they're getting. So your website in today's age, that AI has changed it, is that your website has to be optimized for humans and AI. So you've got to be feeding into both of the algorithms right now for the algorithms of how humans search for your services, and then also for how AI finds you and recommends you, to those consumers, to your potential clients and customers. So, AI has changed the online game again from having a website that's laying the foundation that we build upon. So AI has changed search, AI has changed websites. Now people are using AI to try to build websites and kind of shortcut the process. But again, having the website is one thing. Now you got to optimize it for search everywhere optimization. So you got to structure correctly. You got to have the right interlinkings. You've got to have the right overall design, layout, structure behind it. So a lot of the stuff is more on the technical behind the scenes, but it's not just, hey, look, this is a pretty website with pretty photos, a couple of videos, put a couple of reviews on there. No, there's so much more that goes behind the scenes to really help you rank, to be found when people search for you. One of my key frameworks, is searchability. Can people find you when they search for your services? Can you be found? Can people discover you? Can people not just find you, but does it help answer the questions? Does it help give a good impression? Does it actually help solve provide a solution to their problem? Does it actually create, a conversion? Does it actually, give them a desire to go ahead and call, reach out, book an appointment? This is where, AI is changing that because now you got to optimize not just for the search engines, you got to optimize for AI search now because now people are turning more to these AI platforms because the AI platform agrees with them, tries to have their best interest in mind. Again, the more you play with it, the more you prompt it, the more specific that you are, the more basically data that you feed it, the smarter it gets, the smarter it grows, the more knowledge it has, about your wants, your needs, your desires, your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, whatever it is that you feed it, it helps expand on that. So today, SEO has evolved. Again, it's no longer about search engine optimization, it's about search everywhere optimization, meaning your business must show up across not just the search engines, not just Google, but Google Maps. It's got to be on YouTube. It's got to be on social media. It's got to be across AI search engines. It's got to be through voice assistants. And even when we do an online presence report, when we run an online presence report for a business, listings, one of the things that we look at is how many places is your business listed on. We have like 60 to 70 different online directories, online sites, review sites, niche sites, so many different places that we can actually place your business so it can be found when people search for what it is that you offer. So you have to win. No longer is search just about being on a platform, but it's about behavior. How is it that people are looking for content, are looking for information, are looking for what it is that you offer? So you have to win in so many different variety of forms of content. It can be one central theme, but you've got to break it up into different chunks. For example, you've got to have blogs, you got to do answer FAQs, frequently asked questions. You got to have video content. You've got to have reviews with the right keywords, with the right phrasing, with the right terminology, for it to really rank and show up. You've got to create, video formats, whether it be podcasts, whether it just be video series, whether it be behind the scenes, whether it be just reels, content, information. But you can't just have these funny trying to go viral content, but you got to have content that builds authority, that builds trust, that gives value. So again, there's so many different moving parts to it. So AI has changed how search is being conducted, where it's being conducted, where it's being found. It's changing how websites have to now be built and optimized. So if you have a website you haven't touched in God knows how many years, you've got to give it an update. You got to give it an audit to update it, to optimize it. Not just for search engines and Google, but now for the AI search engines and for the voice assistants. So, I know I'm coming at you really fast with so many different angles. But again, you have to now adapt to humans' behavior and AI behavior. Again, when you rank on these different platforms, let's say for Google example, they have certain checklists, they have certain guidelines that businesses have to meet in order to be ranked on there. From the domain authority, from the authority, interlinking authority that they need, that they require, the exact number of content, of words on the pages, your the tags, everything in between. A lot of structural stuff, technical stuff, but it's vital, it's important if you want to rank higher on these search engine platforms. So AI isn't just changing marketing. I'm just talking right now about marketing with the online presence, your website, your search, and how you're being found and being recommended is also changing operations. So it isn't just changing marketing, it's changing operations. So if you're running Google ads, Facebook ads, SEO campaigns, and you are generating calls, the question is, well, what happens next? You have to, okay, once you're doing this marketing, doing advertising, you're getting lead flow, you're getting call volume. Okay, and the next step from that is, okay, who answers the calls? Who gets directed? How long do you respond back? How many times does it ring before you actually answer? How fast can you get to that lead? What happens, during lunchtime? What happens after hours and on weekends? What happens when staff is busy? Is it just call, going to voicemail? Is it just leave a message? Is it call back later? Try again? You know, so many um shortcuts or vehicle or channels that we try to do. So this is where AI has come into play, which is what we install, what we call a revenue capture system for businesses is our AI receptionist and an AI assistant service is because this is where AI can answer the calls, it can direct um answer any questions. It can nurture leads. It can book appointments. It can do follow up. It can do reminders. This is where it's crucial with the operations of the business from how you answer and track the calls, how you automate different, SMS and emails, how you do your follow up, how you do your reactivation, how you kind of conduct behind the scenes the actual operations, the moving parts in the business comes into play. So now with our AI receptionist, it answer calls, even when staff is busy, our AI receptionist can answer, 100 calls, let's say, which is more than enough any business is really getting right now for their business, but it can answer calls on the spot at the moment. It can, try to qualify the leads, gather information. Again, all of this can be transcribed, his voice recorded, and they can also do live call transferring. So when they want speak to somebody live, when they want to get pricing or book an appointment, then again, it can do live call transferring. But in the meantime, it's gathering information, it's answering any questions that people may have. It's booking appointments. It can integrate with your CRM or your calendar. So it can find, what the available times are, what the time slots are, which day looks better than others. If whatever time, the lead is requesting, it can look into the calendar, your CRM to see exactly what time slots are available. Okay, boom, we can book you in here for Thursday at 4 p.m. We have Friday open for you. And then again, it's seamlessly having to operating, integrating into your operations of the business. So AI helps businesses become faster, more responsive, and more efficient. So it's helping to streamline operations. Again, not to take away from, if you currently have a receptionist or you have, someone answering the phones or lead tracking or lead, routing. This isn't to replace. AI is a tool that's being used to optimize and to make things more efficient because then your front desk receptionist can give better customer service when they have patients and clients in front of them. They don't have to be running and chasing to answer phones and the person that calls, please wait, please be put on hold, listening to, the wait music. No, like the AI takes over. The AI is having conversation with the person. The AI isn't just taking orders and doing a checklist. It's asking questions. For example, if you're a home service business, if you're a roofer or a plumber, is going in there and asking, okay, where's the property located? What problems are you having? It's trying to gather information and intel to be able to capture that, and that way, whenever you can look at the transcription, you can live call transfer, and then you already have the data, you already have the information, so you're ready ahead of the game to be able to, you know, provide service to that potential client for you. If they're asking, to book an appointment or if you charge for any estimates or whatever the case is, the AI can just be interacting and having a conversation with that potential lead. Again, it's not to replace, it's just enhance, optimize, and make it more efficient. So AI is changing search, how it's being conducted, is changing the platforms, is changing, how operations in the business is being performed. Because then you can even import or upload documents, files of particular projects or clients or patients that you have. So again, it can just help you be organized, help you get more streamlined workflows. It helps you to be able to then, keep track of all the different operational things within the business from, if you want to better manage finances, create reports, create, audits on the business, all that. It can be integrated with the AI so it can analyze, it can strategize, it can plan, it can help make things more efficient. So there's so many different ways that within the marketing, within operations, and then now AI and social media content. Now in your content strategy, your content game, AI is changing content too, because there's different AI tools that you can create an AI avatar, you can create an AI twin, there's AI video tools, there's user generated content style ads and content that you can post. There's so many different ways that now you can just shoot the content, record it, and then AI can edit, it can do voiceovers, it can add the graphics, add the imaging, understand the concept being discussed in the video, and then the AI edit, app will then go ahead and do the cuts and the scenes and the images and all that. So it helps you to create more content faster. You can test more different style creatives and you can produce ads efficiently. Again, the idea is that you always post content wherever content performs well, then you want to then create an ad campaign behind that content. Since you saw it perform well organically, there's some marketing and advertising dollars behind it to drive campaigns. So then it can then reach more people, more of your target audience. So AI is changing the game when it comes to social content as well. Again, it can't replace it because people can tell when it's AI. You can tell when it's fake. You can tell. I mean, sometimes it's getting harder now to tell, but for the most part, we're still at that early stage that we can identify what's real, what's fake, what's not. And again, if you want to promote your business, people still want to see you face to face. They still want to see a real person. I play around with it and I have like an AI twin and I kind of create like give it a prompt, a script for it to kind of be able to create content with, which actually some of that sometimes it's some of my best engaging, best performing content out there. But again, it's just the value that I'm dropping within the AI just to showcase that. Look, if you're scared to be in front of the camera, if you're scared to talk, if you're scared to, mess up or blunder or whatever the case is, you can create an AI twin, an AI avatar. So at least you start getting comfortable with at least putting content and showing your face and being seen, gaining visibility, and pushing and promoting your business out there. So again, AI is always going to be a tool to enhance what's already there. It's not going to replace. It's just enhancing, it's optimizing, and it's making it more efficient. But important distinction you got to keep in mind. AI can create a strategy, create some type of, content per se, but if you don't know how to best optimize that content and use it and leverage it, AI generated content, it still needs strategy, it still needs the right messaging, it still needs to have the right positioning, it still needs human direction. Like I met with a doctor, that he had a whole outline, outreach campaign strategy, what he wanted to implement, and AI was giving him a breakdown and how, performs it. But the AI isn't going to do it for you. The AI is going to make the calls for you. AI is going to make the touches, do the outbound. AI isn't going to, know exactly how to put that into an actual strategy to really implement. This is what we need to do. This is how we're going to execute it. This is exactly the breakdown of it. He's also too, he's like, he had no online presence. He was a doctor. No, he is a doctor. He was geared and specialized in one field. He's looking to go ahead and kind of shift and move into a different field. But he has an AI strategy, but he didn't think to say, hey, look, okay, my website's not is not updated. The content that I do have on my website has nothing to do with which in the field of in medicine, that in med space that I want to get into. So it's like, okay, AI is gonna it can't recommend you because obviously you've got no content in that new space. You're not built up as an authority. You don't have anything to showcase you in that space that you have any type of expertise or experience or knowledge within it. Whatever it does pull is outdated website, it's outdated content. You haven't posted on social media in before the pandemic, so people don't know if the pandemic took you out or not. If you're even still in business, you haven't updated my business profile page. There's so many different things that play a factor and a variable when it comes to your online presence and your online positioning. Now, yeah, you can try to run this great campaign and you want to try to run these ads, but you never run any ads. We don't have a landing page. You don't have any type of CRM with any type of follow-up systems with emails and SMS to be able to nurture that lead. It's not just about getting the lead and generating the lead, but it's how do we nurture it? How do we follow up with it? How do we actually convert it from a lead into an actual patient or client of ours? And all of that is just different stages, not just with AI, but with marketing, having a marketing strategy in place is okay, what's the ad? What's the messaging? What's your positioning on the topic, on the issue? What problem are you solving? So when I help them analyze all these different things, then he's like, hey, wait, I gotta kind of put this strategy or not strategy, but this, content it created and put a hold on, I thought this whole great marketing campaign that AI built for me is okay. Then how do you implement it? How do you integrate it? How do you actually take that from like an idea, a concept, an outline and make it with having human direction, actual strategy, and then actually building out the websites, the landing pages, the funnels, the email, sequences, the drip campaigns, all these different components that, yeah, AI, you can then try to learn. Like I said, you can try to learn marketing. You can do it yourself. You can then try to learn AI and exactly what's the best way to use it. But again, the best thing is that you shortcut it and you just partner with the right marketing growth partner, the right marketing agency that can help, shortcut that learning curve for you. And that's what we do here at Soaring High Marketing Solutions for our business owners, whether you're a dentist, med spa owner, roofer, HVAC company, home services space, chiropractor, legal, you know, you name it, we work with dime a dozen industries and professionals and business owners across, different industries per se. But, you know, AI can create content faster. You don't have to worry about having a web developer or a graphic designer to build out an image for you. But you still have to have a winning strategy behind the content that it produces. So it can help you build, you know, AI is changing the marketing game from how people search, how you get found, how you get recommended, how your website is being utilized now, where are you being found, how visible are you, what type of content can you create. But Meta's it's also changing the advertising game. Meta's ad platform is changing because of AI too. The way ads are being run, the way ads are being optimized. Meta is now using its AI, the whole Andromeda update to basically, okay, how do we create this Advantage Plus campaigns, which is now about not just about the interest and the demographics and your targeting, but it's more about the AI driven targeting about it's more now more about the targeting. Now it's more about the creative. The creative itself is what really drives the targeting because now the creative, the content you produce, whether it be the image, whether it be the video, you basically give it to Meta, and then Meta uses the creative to then identify with its AI algorithms and its AI driven targeting to, okay, who is this ad going to be better performed with? And then AI itself, Meta itself, will then go and push it out there into the meta world, the metaverse, and then find you your ideal audience, your clients, your customers online. So now the platforms rely more on the quality of the content, the hooks that you have within, the video, the creatives that you use, more of it, the engagement signals that it uses. So right now, the algorithm does more of the targeting now than you trying to do it by interest or by area, location. So now the main thing is that creative itself is becoming the targeting. So instead of creating just one general static ad, generic ad that's trying to hit everybody, and then you hit everybody, hits nobody. Now you need multiple creatives, you need multiple hooks, multiple angles. You need different angles talking about the same issue, about the same topic, just different ways, putting on different light. So many different things that you gotta. Again, it comes down to the messaging, your positioning, the authority you have in the space. So AI is changing how ads are being done. And again, is going from organic content, creatives, and then you position it until, running ad campaigns behind it. So again, it's working together. But again, if you haven't run ads and now you're trying to just have a system run the ads for you with the AI, with Advantage Plus campaigns, it may not be the best thing for you. You still have to have some knowledge, some understanding on ad campaign, on how to hooks, on creatives, on okay, then how do we drive that traffic to what type of landing page? What funnel do we use? And then on the back end, the follow-up systems, the sales processes that you need. So you need, so AI is changing marketing, is changing advertising, is changing operations. So again, this is why I say, how is your business positioned to handle all of these different changes? If you don't have a website, you don't have any content on social, you don't have any ads that you've run, then again, AI isn't the problem. AI isn't the solution. It's having the right strategy in place for your business to be able to drive the growth that you're searching for and that you're seeking. So, I mentioned earlier, one thing that people want to do AI websites. AI can just do everything for me. I mean, AI is help solves few things, but there's always going to be trade-offs to what AI can do. So, you still need, the right structure. You still need to be optimized. You still need to be set up properly. So AI are tools, but they're only as powerful as the strategies that's behind them. So, I'm giving you different things just so you have an understanding on what AI is changing, how it's changing it, but this is how your business should prepare for AI. Some action steps that you can take is you've got to, number one, start with improving your website. You've got to optimize the content on there and your online content to be optimized for SEO and AI search. You've got to create more authority content. You've got to be collecting reviews. You've got to be installing some type of CRM system into the business. You've got to implement AI follow-up. You've got to be creating more video content as well, because the businesses that adapt and integrate AI, they're the ones that become more visible. They're going to be able to operate more efficiently, and that's going to help them to scale faster. Because AI is not going to replace businesses. Everybody's worried about AI is going to disrupt this industry, disrupt that industry, my industry. It's going to replace everybody. It's going to replace all humans. It's going to replace all jobs, and that's not the case. Again, AI isn't to replace. AI is being used to replace those that ignore it, that don't integrate it, that don't adapt to it. But you have to have the right foundation to it. So AI is changing marketing, it's changing advertising, but the fundamentals still matter. You still need to build trust. You still need to have visibility. You've got to have a strategy, and you got to have systems, your business systems in the business, systems behind the scenes to be able to make the AI and the marketing and the advertising works. AI is just simply a tool that helps to accelerate, automate, and amplifies what's already there. So if you don't have any of these things that I'm talking to you about, then you shouldn't be worried about right now about AI. Oh, that means Yeah, because we're all, want to rush to the AI, golden rush, like the gold rush. We all want to rush to the AI revolution and try to integrate it and optimize it and play with it. And do we get chatbot? And because a lot of the content I see on social media is okay, Claude, ChatGPT can do X, Y, Z, and comment for this prompt. Again, it's all about how you prompt it, how you program it, how you have a strategy behind it, and how you execute on it. But people are just giving you all these different prompts. And again, if you never looked at a meta ads dashboard, it's gonna look, like a foreign language to you. If you, don't know how to create a high performing funnel or landing page, you don't have, like I said, your website is outdated. You don't have any content on social. You're not collecting any reviews. You don't have a sales process. You don't have any follow-up systems in place. You don't have any type of email sequencing or drip campaigns. You don't know, you're not answering the phone calls when leads do call and leads do come in. You're not answering. You're taking days to follow up with them. You're taking time to respond to them. Then AI isn't going to help be a solution for you. AI is going to set you further back because you're trying to use AI to kind of shortcut the whole process, but you haven't built any online presence. You don't have any type of foundation set in place. You don't have any authority in the space, in the industry, in the space. So again, AI isn't the solution to end all be all, but is this gonna, again, AI is just a tool that helps you accelerate, automate, and amplify what's there. Again, it's like when people want to run ads, but they want to run ads, but they don't have different types of creatives. They don't have different hooks. They don't have different angles on the problem that they solve. There's no online presence because again, people see an ad, they see the ads, okay, and then if they don't book a call or a consultation, if they don't book an appointment, and then okay, I know I need to solve this problem, and they just happen to scroll and you just happen to appear because again, the ad resonated with them. The identified AI identified the right, your ideal audience, your target audience. Okay, but if then they forget about your company and they just remember the service or the treatment that they're looking for. So they go ahead and they search for it, whether it be on Google or whether it be with Claude or ChatGPT. And then the AI doesn't recommend you because it can't find you. You're invisible online. You're stuck in obscurity. You're not visible. Then you're spending all this money to ads, and then you're saying, "Oh, this is why ads don't work because I spent money and I didn't get any calls, I didn't get any leads from it." Because the other side of the coin is, yes, it brought in views, it brought in impressions, it brought in could be some leads, but when the leads looked you up online, because then from there it's about building trust. So they're gonna see, are you answering the questions that they're asking? Do you have any reviews on the matter? What have people that have user service or your treatment? What do they say about you? Do you have any type of testimonials, whether it be written and video? Do you have any case studies of before and afters, transformations that you've done? If you're missing these different things, then your credibility, your authority score goes down. So again, AI is going to be the solution for you for that. It's so you have so many other issues within the business that you got to solve. And again, most people want to rush to AI, to the AI revolution. But if you don't have systems, strategy, and the foundation in place, then it's going to be all done in vain. And, if you're trying to learn AI, but you haven't mastered marketing, advertising, getting attention, how do you convert the attention? If you don't have the skill set in communication and messaging and copy in communication, in speaking, in public speaking, in writing, copy, whether it be for a landing page, writing copy for an email, whether it be, creating a website or a funnel, you don't have all these other components or skills. I lost my train of thought. Skill sets, you can't sell, you can't negotiate, you can't close, you can't overcome objections, you can't, close deals. Then AI isn't going to be the solution for you because again, there's going to be other people that are going to be better positioned, have more authority, already have a good online presence, a good foundation that when you run ads and you run AI with and you partner with AI, and then you kind of just put your marketing on steroids when you integrate AI with it. So the main thing is, okay, what do we need to solve first in the business? Do we need to, get more online presence? Do we need to get more traffic? Do we have to get more leads? Do we need more appointments? Do we need more closed deals? Of course, we all want more closed deals. We all want more revenue, but you've got to backtrack, reverse engineer the process and say, okay, what am I lacking? What am I missing? And then how do I position myself properly for this whole AI revolution? Because it's here, it's happening, to the businesses that win now in the AI era will combine technology with strategy, systems, and human connection. It's still about, again, it's still people to people. We still live in this world. It's about people. It's when the people business, the people service business. People still want to transact people to people, face to face. Again, and we lost a lot of that with the pandemic and all that. We lost that human touch, and everything wants to be AI generated, and everything is AI. So now, the more that we can integrate human touch, human connection, emotions, then our messaging is going to go further because now people want something real. They're tired of all this made up stuff. They're tired of all the AI generated stuff. They want real, they want raw, they want something that's true, something that's tangible, something they can connect with. Again, AI is just different tools to help solve problems, but it doesn't take away the human element, doesn't take away human connection. Because people say, no, I spoke with a roofer, and the it's her and her husband, and so I spoke with the wife, and she's like, no, I don't like AI because when people want to hear some of your voice, they want to hear of your human on the other line, and the issue is not what you think they want, is what is dictating now in the marketplace. It's you're busy running the office and doing admin work. You've got your crew you got to oversee. Your husband's, doing jobs and getting materials, getting supplies, managing everything, the projects and whatnot. Who's answering the phones when the phones start ringing? When it is ringing, who's answering? So AI isn't here to, take away the human element, human interaction. It's just to help you solve the problem. Is that we need to answer the phones. We're investing into marketing and into advertising. We're getting calls coming in. So we need to find a way, okay, how can we respond to at least capture that call, capture the information that they're looking for? Because yeah, you can say, oh no, yeah, if it goes to voicemail, I need to have the number saved. But again, if you're investing to SEO campaigns, if it depends on where that lead is calling you from. Did they find you on Google? Did the AI recommend you? Did they see an ad? Because you got to see what's the urgency of that lead to transact. If it comes to search, whether it be AI or Google, it's a higher intent there, buying intent, because they're actually looking for your services, they're actually looking for your solution. So maybe they're going to call two or three different companies. And if AI recommends you, then it's even more accelerated, the conversion of that lead, of that prospect. They found you on social, you just targeted them. Maybe they weren't thinking of your service right then and there, but you captured my attention. You got, me interested somewhat. Now the question is, okay, am I going to have follow-up process with retargeting campaigns, with remarketing campaigns? Am I going to have any type of follow-up system with them so I can nurture that lead through my content, through my ads, through my automations, to then get that lead from a cold lead into a warm lead into an actual client and prospect. So marketing has different functionality, has different functions, has a system, and then again, you have AI to leverage automations, be able to leverage every phase of the lead. I break this down in earlier podcast episodes about the life cycle of a lead and how marketing and advertising helps to nurture every phase of it, from lead, from generating the lead, to nurturing the lead, to following up with the lead, to then converting that lead into an actual patient, customer, client for your business. So AI is here, AI is changing all these different, platforms, strategies, you know, typical marketing services that we can say. And again, if you don't have the basics, you can't jump into AI because AI like ads only amplifies what's already there, what's working, what's not. How comfortable are you with integrating this all new technology? Most people, still have trouble sending an email, trying to figure out their CRM platform. They never seen a ads meta ads dashboard. They don't understand all the different terminology and metrics from CTR to CAC to CPC, all these different terms, which, business owners shouldn't really care about. You should have a marketing growth partner at your side that understands the metrics, the analytics, the numbers, the stats, and then how can we turn that into actual results for your business? How do we generate that into actual appointments on your calendar? How do we turn that actual into not just views or impressions, but actual booked appointments? And then ultimately, how do we turn those booked appointments into actual revenue for your business? That's the terminology, that's the metric and number that business owners should care about is what did this marketing, advertising, and AI actually produce in terms of revenue and growth for the business? You don't have time to be learning all these different platforms and all these different strategies and how all these different things integrate. Because again, you want to jump into Claude and how Claude can connect your ad campaign into your create funnels and landing pages for you. But if you don't know the basics on exactly copy, on messaging, on positioning, on the structure of it, then what good is it to you? You're still kind of in the same spot. Now you just have more. Now you're just aware of, you know, the more that you know, the more that you know that you don't know, the more that you know that you don't know that you need to know that you have to learn that you got to know. It just ends into like an endless, rabbit hole you got to go through, and it's just that's taking away time from you focusing on your business, actually meeting with your ideal prospects, clients, customers. That's taking away from you, optimizing, admin, operations, systems within your business. So rather than you trying to be the entrepreneur, the business owner, the med spa owner, the roofer that's trying to handle all these different jobs, all these different functions, is just not going to be sustainable for growth of the business. If you're the one trying to do the Botox injection, apply the anesthesia, try to answer phone calls, book, follow, confirm appointments, you want to review treatments, do a consultation. You want to be the one that, runs a Facebook ad, records the video and posts the reel. Oh my, you're trying to wear so many different hats that in the end is just not your best area. Your strength is not in all these different things. It's in one or two main things that you've got to go in deep and all in on, and then hire the right team around you, partner with the right marketing growth partner, so we can do all this legwork for you, and then be able to put your team members and staff into the right, position to be able to maximize, our marketing efforts that we're building for you and creating for you. So we'll help you build your own lead engine, and you're not dependent on just referrals, just word of mouth, on these third-party companies that are just sending you reuse leads and recycle leads out there. No, like we want to use our marketing systems, our patient acquisition systems to help you create your own lead engine. And then again, we're generating the leads, we're nurturing them for you, we're following up with them, and we're converting them into actual appointments on your calendar. So we streamline the whole process. And again, we're using AI. We're partnering with AI to be able to solve these problems for business owners. But if you're trying to do it all yourself, you're trying to learn all these different new technologies, and again, it's always updating, it's always improving, it's always being optimized, there's always a new update out there. And today is gonna be one platform, and then we shift over to another one, and then a better one comes out. There's like dime a dozens of platforms out there that one does is good for this, one is good for that, one is good for creating the content, one is good for writing, one is good for image creation, one is good for video editing. And it's like, okay, you have all these different softwares, platforms, apps, websites, and it's like, okay, which is the best one? And then how do I get it all to connect and integrate. Because again, you're gonna have so many disconnected, platforms and functionalities and all this different things that it just doesn't make sense for you guys to get into. So again, the AI revolution is here. It's here upon us. We can't escape it. We can't ignore it. We can't be overwhelmed by it. Yes, as a business owner, you should be aware of it. How is it changing in your specific industry? Because it's already here. People are already adapting to it. And again, it can be introduced to your business little by little. We can start with the AI receptionist. So whatever calls you are currently getting, we can capture that and turn what we captured, turn that into actual monetize it and actually turn it into revenue. So then that revenue can then help you expand further growth, further expansion for the business through marketing, through advertising. So you keep growing, you keep building, and you keep scaling your practice, your business, your company, whatever it is you want to define it. From your dental practice, your law firm, your med spa location, your roofing company. So all these different things, are working together. Again, we're building you a machine, we're building you the system that all works together for the growth of revenue and the growth of the business. So AI is here, AI is changing how people are searching, is changing websites, is changing SEO, is changing content creation, is changing, ads, is changing follow-up, is changing operations. So the question is, how can your business be positioned to take advantage of these different changes? Because if AI can't find your business online, it can't recommend your business. If you're creating content but you have no strategy behind it, then what good is it? And if you're just going to ignore AI and you ignore marketing and advertising, then you're just going to be falling into a deeper hole. This is why our online presence report now also highlights AI optimization. We actually provide you with different, 4 to 5 key questions that people are already actively searching on these search engines, AI search engines, exactly who is being recommended. You'd be surprised to find that your competitors are already, in the forefront of this. So if you're not adapting, your competitors sure are, because they want to dominate, they want to acquire more market share. So you're going to be stuck with the old way of marketing, the old way tactics. This is the way we've always done it. Then you're going to be, fall behind and be forgotten because you're already invisible online. You're already in obscurity because you're not getting the visibility, you're not getting the amount of leads and calls that you need to grow the business. And then the next step is that you're going to be forgotten. You're invisible, you're in obscurity, and now you're going to be forgotten because you do not take not just AI, but marketing and advertising serious in your business. So AI has great tools, it's a great resource to learn, to integrate, to optimize, but it's not the end all be all. You still have to have the right strategy, have the right systems in place in order to really maximize and optimize it for your business. So if you want to learn more about how we can integrate AI into your business, I invite you to comment the word below, AI, so we can schedule a free strategy session with you. If you want to learn more and see how our AI receptionist service works, we'd love to give you a walkthrough and a tour on that and how we can integrate that into your business. Because again, it's all custom based. So we build a custom base for your business, the way your operations, your information, everything surrounding your business. So it's not a cookie cutter, one size fits all, generic, but no, we personalize it for your business so that it has that extra layer of, branding, of your brand, of your messaging, of your way of doing business, your authority, your knowledge into it. So it's not just about having AI, it's knowing how to program it, how to prompt it, how to leverage it, and how to use it to grow your business. So the AI revolution is here. As I share with you, is changing so many different things, which is really the foundations that every business should already have. But if you don't have any of these foundations, then we got to start first with the foundation. We got to build upon it, and then we can amplify it and scale it with AI when the time is right. But if you have an outdated website, you're not posting any type of content on social, you're not running any ads, then forget about AI. Let's cover first the basics. Let's budget that client acquisition system first, and then we can start leveraging and using AI to your advantage. So the AI revolution is here. It's here. It's not no longer a thing of the future. This is the worst it's going to be, and imagine how good it is now. But this is the worst it's gonna ever be. You can just imagine the improvements in the years to come on how it is going to be taken to a whole another level. So if you enjoyed the podcast and you enjoyed this video, make sure you guys drop in your questions, your comments down below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like the video, hit the subscribe button, place a comment below on how you're using AI in your business. If you have any questions, put it down there as well. And whatever I can do for you guys, I'm here. You can go ahead and send me a message or send me an email. You can find different 4 ways to get in contact with me. But whatever I can do for you, please let me know. I'd love to help work with you to help you grow your business, help you grow your practice, help you 10x, 100x your business. I want my team and I to be your marketing department, to be your marketing growth partner, your marketing strategist, consultant, you name it, whatever title you want to give it. It's just about, we know marketing, we know advertising, we know what works. We've worked with somebody in your industry and in your business before, so there's nothing new to us. So we want to partner with you and we want to make it happen for you. So make sure you guys like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.